You're listening to Her Confidence Her Way podcast, episode 90. Yes, 90. Hello, girlfriends. How are you doing? Thank you so much for listening to Her Confidence Her Way podcast. I am your host, Emiko Rasmussen. 皆さんこんにちは。Her Confidence Her Way podcast のエミコです。I am just so thankful that you are here to listen to this episode. For those who are listening to this episode every week, thank you. And for those who are listening to this episode the very first time, welcome. Thank you so very much for finding this podcast. I am super excited that you're here with me today. Can I just say how excited I am to just say that this episode is the 90th episode? That means 100 episode is literally what? So it's 90. So 10 more episodes ahead. Super excited, and of course this is something that I couldn't do this without your support, so I just cannot thank enough. So yes, thank you so much. All right, I have an amazing guest today, but before that, let's do a listener shout out. I have recently received another review. It is a 5-star review. So this is from Yuri. Thank you, Yuri. Okay, so Her Confidence Her Way heals and encourages your soul. I found Her Confidence Her Way podcast throughout Emiko's Instagram, and I quickly fell in love with her work and passion that she wants Japanese women to feel more worthy and believe in themselves. We know this self-love boosts our happiness, but we also know that negative talks and self-doubt always come first. However, Emiko talks about the process of how to get out from the dark hole and believe in your resilience to be able to embrace your true evolving self. どんなことも起こることに無駄なものなんてないって思わせてくれる。そして自分らしく生きるため自分を変える勇気をくれるとっても素敵なポッドキャストですというレビューをいただきました。Thank you so much, Yuri, for providing this review. This means a lot to me, so thank you so much. And for those who are listening to this podcast, and if you are liking this podcast, please share with your friends and families and coworkers or whatever that is that you think that this episode can help them. And if you have extra time, or if you want to make the time to leave a review, please do so, because having more reviews, it helps for this podcast to be more visible to the other person who are looking for some podcasts to listen. And most likely the more the review that I have, the more visibility I get, so people can discover this podcast and I can bring impact to those people. So please do so. All right. Today I have a very special guest. I am super excited. I found this person through Instagram. I'm telling you, Instagram is my jam. So if you are not connected with me, please follow me at Emiko Rasmussen, which is EMIKORASMUSSEN. Okay, but so anyway, going back, I found this person through Instagram and I was following her. I love to follow people, not in a weird way. And I had this feeling like I need to hear this person's personal story. And surprisingly, so she is amazing, and you guys will hear her. But she told me this. She's like, I have never had an opportunity to share about her personal side. So she is a speaker. She is also a business owner. She is a CEO and founder. And she has been speaking at multiple events and stuff, but she has never had the opportunity to talk about her personal story. So this is her very first time talking about her story. And it's so inspiring and so encouraging and it's so powerful that you just want to meet this person and want to give her a hug. I'm telling you. So I am going to introduce you guys. But before, as we do this, let's take a break. Before we move on to the main topic, let's take a quick break. Are you living your life the way you want to live? Or are you following the life someone else told you to live? 自分に自信がなく自分を好きになることができない。こんな悩みを抱えていませんか？ Her Confidence Her Way では働く女性の自分探し、自分の価値観を理解するお手伝いをし、女性が自信を持って本当にやりたいと思っていることができるようにサポートし、生きがい、充実感のあるワークライフを応援しています。Her Confidence Her Way is all about helping Japanese working women to discover their true self so that they can see their own values and helping them to build their confidence to live the purposeful and meaningful work life they love. 自分らしくワークライフをクリエイトしていくための First Step は自分の強みを理解すること。日本人一人しかいないコーポレートアメリカで働く中で痛い、恥ずかしい、そして悲しい思いを繰り返しながら自分を信じる力をゼロから積み上げていきました。その時に一番役立ったのが自己発見、Gifted Talent を探すことです。自分ができること、自分にしかできないユニークさを理解することによってどこにフォーカスを置いていいか、自分が今後どんなキャリア、人生を送っていきたいのかがよく理解できます。もっと自分らしく充実したワークライフをクリエイトしたいあなた、ぜひ私のニュースレターに登録して自分の Gifted Talent を探すワークシートで新たな自分を発見してみてください。もちろん登録は無料です。登録は私のウェブサイト www.herconfidenceherway.com からできます。エピソードでお話しした内容、アドバイス、またはエピソードで出てきたリンク、他のサイトも私のウェブサイトで紹介しています。そしてこのエピソードがとっても役に立ち、もっと聞きたいと思った方はぜひこのポッドキャストをスポンサーしてください。私のウェブサイトからポッドキャストをサポートするをクリック。今後も私たちがポッドキャストを続け、より良いエピソードをお届けするためにもリスナーさんからの寄付をお待ちしています。最後にLet's connect with me on Instagram. 私のアカウントは @emiko rasmussen EMIKORASMUSSEN です。DM からいただいたメッセージは必ずお返しします。Alright, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. このポッドキャストの購読もお忘れずに。Now, let's get back to the show. Are you ready to hear from today's amazing guest? Alright, here you go.Today's guest is Fariza Abidova. She is a founder and CEO of Trusted Corporation and founder and CEO of Sophie's Corporation. Fariza is a serial entrepreneur passionate about promoting global business collaboration to speed up technological innovation.In 2010, she established Sophie's Corporation, a global human resources development company that trained 3,000 Japanese executives and senior managers. In 2016, Fariza launched her second startup, Trusted Corporation, an online B2B community and search engine that helps companies access business opportunities worldwide through cross-border and cross-industry collaboration.On the side, Fariza holds seminars to renowned American business schools, Japanese universities, and Japanese branches of American, German, Swiss, and British chambers of commerce and industry. She also writes media articles and columns in Japanese newspapers. She also started Legacy 50 Plus, a non-profit project under Trusted.that shares the stories of Japanese founders and CEOs to help inspire and motivate the next generation of entrepreneurs. From her work and contribution to other businesses, Fariza was nominated for the British Chamber of Commerce in Japan's Entrepreneur of the Year Award in 2017. Phew! That is a lot. And you'll hear more of amazing story about Fariza. Enjoy! Hi, Fariza. Thank you so much for joining Her Confidence, Her Way podcast. How are you doing?
Hi, Miko-san. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm doing great. It's early morning in Tokyo today. Beautiful day.
Oh, awesome. How is the temperature right now?
Actually, it's perfect autumn like day. I think today is 18, and outside of my window, like there is like red leaves, yellow. It's
Oh,
beautiful every morning recently.
I bet. That's awesome. I live in South California, which is normally the
Uh-huh.
temperature is really warm,
Uh,
and we don't really see red leaves, so that's one thing I
it's
really
beautiful
miss.
in Tokyo now.
I bet. So I am super excited to connect with you. So, first, thank you so much for taking your busy time. I know you have some exciting events coming up, and we'll definitely talk about that. But before that, let me ask you about how you were like when you were growing up.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Basically, I'm from Uzbekistan originally, and I came to Japan 14 years ago now. And in Uzbekistan, I was completely different by now, I would say. I was not confident and I was a shy girl. Like, even in the school, I used to be only focusing on studies, always with my books. And yeah, I would say growing up, I was really shy girl who liked books a lot.
Oh, well, but reading books is really amazing, right? I mean, I wish I was reading books when I was little. Like now, I really want to have more time reading books, but I just don't have a chance. So I do audiobooks now. But now I have two
Mm,
girls, and
mm.
older one is 8 years old, and I'm just
Oh,
having some hard time getting her
mhm.
into reading books. So
Yeah. I think our generation was different by kids now. They have everything now
that's a
online.
good
They
point.
don't need to read
Yes.
books, right?
Yeah, that is so true. True that. So you're
Mm.
from Uzbekistan before, did I
Yes.
say it right? Yeah. And then,
Mm.
but my understanding is that you can speak several languages, correct?
Yes.
Wow. So tell
It's not
us.
I studied all. I didn't study all of them. It's like in Uzbekistan, there are like 130 nationalities live there,
Wow.
and everyone has like different languages. Their native language is different.
Hmm.
Like even mine, I grew up in Uzbekistan. I was born in Uzbekistan, but my nationality is Tajik, which is Persian origin language.
Mm.
And the country language is Uzbek, and communication language is Russian because we used to be
Ah,
part of Soviet.
you're right.
So everyone somehow can speak three languages when we are young, naturally, because in that environment,
Mm-hmm.
you listen like different languages and you learn naturally.
Yeah.
And I studied English and Japanese, I would
Mm-hmm.
say, like myself in the school. And
Mm-hmm.
the rest is all similar languages, so I could somehow like get it faster because the grammar is similar. For example, Japanese and Uzbek, um, the grammar is exactly the same, so you just substitute the words and you can speak.
Really? So that means I have a chance to be able to communicate
In Uzbek,
in
yes, or
Uzbek.
Turkish.
Really? Oh, Turk.
Yeah,
Oh, you
yeah.
know what? I have a coworker who speaks Turkish. Maybe I should learn from her.
Yeah, Turkish and Uzbek
Really?
is really
Very
like
similar.
same. Yeah,
Okay. Awesome. I didn't even think that there's a connection there. But may I ask, like, what made you to study Japanese?
yeah.
Is there a lot of like a Japanese culture or something like coming into your country, or how did you even like discover Japan?
So basically, I knew about Japan when I was already 6 years old, like
Wow.
through movies. My father used to watch a lot of Japanese, movies about like samurais and those era.
I see.
And I was really interested in, kimono and like Japanese style house, like, and and I didn't know it was Japan at the time, but that image I always had. And in my university, we could choose second language. And then there were a lot of choices, and somehow like the image from childhood, I chose Japanese because of also kanji, because the way they write, it looked really beautiful to me. And then I chose Japanese, and also in Uzbekistan, there are a lot of JICA volunteers go there to teach Japanese language. So it was a great opportunity to learn from someone from that country. Like, I didn't want to learn foreign language from Uzbekistani teacher, I wanted to learn Japanese from Japanese teacher. And that was something also attractive point for me.
Wow. Oh, that's really cool. Thank you so much for sharing. And then, well, since we're kind of like on the topic of talking about your country, you know how in Japan, I'm pretty sure living in Japan for 14 years, you may notice some gender gaps between women and men. How is your home country? How is the gender in terms of gender equality?
I'm glad you asked, because now this is the topic like people ask me to. But actually, for me, Japan is land of opportunity, because it's like I don't feel so much like gender gap. Like, I feel like opportunities are everywhere if you like truly believe. In Uzbekistan, the majority of people Muslim. Even my family Muslim, and unfortunately still in that society, like, there are very few opportunities for girls to build career or even to study. So when I was growing up, I was the first from our like family to even go to university, because the priority for girls is like from 17 years old they marry arranged. And like they have kids and take care of a household. That's the expectation from girls in general. It's still like this in my family. Like, my cousins are all having that kind of days even now, in this era. So for me, Japan, like, I was, wow, there's so much freedom, so much opportunities for girls. Like, you can literally do whatever you want. So it was the opposite for me, because I came from Uzbekistan, that society.
Yeah. Did you get a pushback when you're kind of doing the not a norm, right? I mean, considering,
yes.
Yeah. How did your parents like give you a hard time leaving your home country, or how was your experience like?
So basically, I came to Japan with the Mombusho's scholarship.
Ooh.
And when I passed, like, I was only 2 people passed that scholarship from whole country, And for me, it was really important, because I always wanted to study abroad, and I wanted to build, my career globally and everything.
Right.
But the thing is, my family were against me going and studying to Japan, because I was not married that time. And usually, I mean, that would never happen, like to send like not married girl abroad. And so they said no, like in my university, like professors and my Japanese teacher like came to persuade my family, saying you should send this like government related program. You cannot like just say no. And so they had to come with the kind of idea, like, if I was engaged to someone, it was okay to send, basically. So I was kind of arranged married in a way. And so that was the struggle I had to pass, like, to be able to even study abroad.
Wow. Thank you so much for all this, like, true, or it's not true story, but like, all the authentic, like, real story. Wow, that's really eye-opening. And then, so from there, having, your own kind of like struggle with
Mm,
all those like arranged married and the family, not necessarily
mm,
conflicts, but, some sort of,
mhm.
some what's a good term to put, but some sort of like a pushback, and then now you're here. I'm pretty sure I'm doing really fast forward, but now you're here now in Japan, and
Mm,
you're kind of like doing some you're teaching Japanese professionals or the Japanese business for the gaps in the Japanese market, or like lack of cross-cultural communication skills and an understanding. Is that correct?
Yes. So I studied about exactly this topic, cross-cultural communication in global environment at Kobe University.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took my research work and I, created like contents for Japanese managers who were dispatched abroad. So I was training them like how to understand different cultures and manage effectively.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I did this business for 8 years,
Mm-hmm.
and 2 years ago I started another company in IT field.
Mm-hmm.
So now
Got it.
I'm mainly focusing on connecting technology startups with large Japanese companies for
Right.
business development. Now, like I'm offering like real business opportunities to Japanese companies, like to do global collaboration, and like I want to speed up technology innovation, but by putting all the resources in our platform so that they can do cross-border or cross-industry collaboration, basically.
Oh, wow. So that's the company called Trusted Corporation.
Yes, yes.
Wow. So, and then you have worked with some big Japanese companies already, correct?
Yeah, so in that 8 years, like doing seminars, speeches, and stuff like, I was lucky to work with the biggest manufacturing companies in Japan, IT, construction. Basically, I think I like taught managers and executives of top three of every industry in Japan.
Hmm. Let me ask you this. Were they all men?
Yes, yes. So,
I'm like,
you know,
obviously that question, like, yeah, I was expecting the
yeah,
answer yes.
that was very interesting to see the change, like 8 years ago, because I only did seminars to manager and up,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Yep.
And they were all men, especially the industries are, manufacturing,
Right.
IT,
Mm-hmm.
construction.
Mm-hmm.
Like there were no even one single, lady in the management position. But the interesting thing, recently, like since last year,
Mm-hmm.
I see even in the banking, like in financial industries and, or, consulting, like there are a lot of, compared to the past, like I
Right.
can see my audience like three, four, female managers.
That's good. It's better than
Yeah.
zero.
Yeah, yeah. Before it was zero. Now it's like,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm saying
like,
like,
yeah, all men and you, right?
yeah. So out of 30 people, usually in my audience, I had like 30 people.
Mm-hmm.
And out of 30 now, we have four female managers, basically.
I see. So, from that experience, what do you think is the biggest challenge for Japanese professionals, especially women?
Hmm.
Knowing that this question is
Yeah.
such a big question to you, but you can, start from anywhere. But I understand, one of the reason why is that, women also are expected to stay home. That's like
Mm-hmm.
you said, for your home country, but that was kind of like the social expectations. But I know things are changing, but still, there are so many other things that is preventing from women to really lean in and even be in those managerial positions. So, what do you think are the challenges?
I believe that it's all linked with the social system, culture, companies system, and like promotion, like it's all related to each other, all linked. And of course, like now they're trying to change in Japan. Many CEOs that I meet, they're like actively like recommending women to the management position. But interesting thing for me to know was like most of women didn't want to take those positions. Like, so in a way, my clients, like CEOs, were kind of pushing hard those women to take this management position, which is also wrong because it's not like they have to, force them, right? It should be a choice. So that was interesting for me to see, and also I think like managers in Japan work really late hours. I believe for women that's difficult if you have like kids and family, right? And but one thing I usually notice that there are a lot of like business events, like networking events or this kind of stuff, like after office hours, right? Usually I don't see women joining those kind of events where most of businesses are done. It's businesses will be decided. There is just unfortunately in this kind of timing and like the place and timing is also important, I believe. Most of the time, I don't see many women joining those kind of situations.
Yeah, I completely understand, especially I think how do I say this? Okay, I'm just gonna say it anyway. I'm gonna be really honest. I do understand it's difficult, but it's not impossible neither. Meaning that men can step up more. So that the dad or the husband can say, hey, I know there's going to be some sort of networking happy hour, whatever that is, right? It's going to be there. Why don't you go? I will take care of our kids. I will go pick up the kids. I will cook dinner or order pizza, whatever that is, right? And so that way women can go. And I think, yes, we can always blame on the society and the structure. It's difficult and it's hard. But at the same time, I feel like women, because this is me, that's my personal experience, I felt like I can't go because I have to do everything.
You felt responsible for everything.
Yeah,
kids,
and I think how women tend to feel that way, like, oh, I have to be the one to pick up kids. I have to be the one to cook. You don't even have to cook. If you really don't have the time, you can just go to McDonald's. Oh, I guess that's too American, but go to, I don't know, some sort of like a market,
Take out.
Yeah, take out. Or even, you can ask your mommy friends, hey, I really want to go to this event, and
ask for help.
It's also important. So, and I was like, kind of hesitant to say, but I'm like, but it's the truth.
And also you mentioned like husbands should help, right? I mean, they should offer, you should go, but I believe you have to demand it from the husband. Basically, it's not you wait that the husband offers you, you go. If you don't ask yourself, that like they don't even think that you wanted to go, for example, right? For example, like they simply didn't think about it. It's not like they're trying to hold you back or something. Even the husband, most of the time, they just didn't think that you were even interested, So, for example, if you really want to go to those kind of networking events and stuff, and you tell to your partner that you want to do that, most of them would happily support you, because they understand for the first time that you're passionate about that thing and you're trying to do something for you. Most of people, I think, respect even this attitude,
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so true. You brought up such a great point. Speak up, woman.
Just so ask for it, simply because people don't think about it so much as you do. And if you say it, they say most of the time, why not? Yeah, sure. Like this is so easy. Like women tend to overthink too much. Like, what if a lot of what ifs, right? Just
Yeah. You are completely right because I don't know. Have you ever read this book called "Men Are from Mars and Women
yes,
from
yes,
Venus"?
yeah,
Yeah, and then I think one of the I still remember like I was really upset, right?
uh-huh.
And my husband was like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Nothing," right? Like obviously I was like so pissed, upset,
yeah,
but then I said nothing, thinking like you should really get it from this attitude. It's obviously there's
yes,
something, but then men take it the face value. If I say nothing, that means nothing. And then
yes,
after
yes.
that, I read that book, and I'm like, ah. Why didn't I read this book a long
We
time
hope them
ago?
to notice, or we hope them to understand what we are thinking, but we think million stuff. Of course, they will never understand it.
Exactly. But then women, on the other hand, I think we can sense better. We can tell. So if there's
Yes, yes.
something that people are bothering, I think because
Yeah.
we're naturally more like a nurturing people. So yeah,
It's our instinct, right, to take
instinct.
care
That's
of
correct.
small details so we can take care of babies like better.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, I believe why women are not like active in the society so much is simply they don't ask for it, they don't demand it. Yeah, they're not confident enough to like I want to do this, like
Yeah.
so.
True. 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 And I think that having more leaders within the company would gain more role models because right now I don't think that there aren't many women
Mm-hmm.
in a leadership position that they can even kind of like see them like, oh wow, if she can do it, like I want
Yes,
to
yes.
do, I want to be like her. She's a working mom, she's a mom, but then she's also been a leader in the company. And then I think all what we see, all those leadership right now, I'm strictly talking in Japan, is
Uh-huh.
men working overtime, hours of
Mm-hmm.
hours, and abandoning. I'm not talking
Mm-hmm.
about all the companies, but
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's the
Majority, yes.
yeah, typical. So that's where you come in, and you also kind of like do some lecture or workshop or something, and change the company in Japan, right?
Yes, yes. Basically, like even cross-cultural understanding is the same concept. It's just both parties have good intention usually.
Right.
They want to contribute, they want to help, but they are misunderstood just because of different cultures and mentality.
Right.
And when I tell them, if you say to your subordinate who are from this country this way, this is how they feel, right? Like in the opposite way. And they said, wow, I didn't even think about it. I didn't, why even, like, it's
Oh.
just simply by not knowing. No one, I interviewed like 200 Japanese managers and 500 foreign people to build a
Right.
database of typical miscommunication episodes or misunderstanding. And all of them, the pattern was like both parties had good intention, but the result was the opposite
Mm.
by
Wow.
simply not knowing, like,
Right. Oh my gosh, that's huge. That's
yeah.
so amazing. It's such
And
a
in
great
Japan,
teaching point.
you know what? Like I have in my audience always different nationalities. I even like train managers of foreign companies in Japan who are like American, European, like Indian, like different countries. So
Right.
I do like similar content seminars,
Yeah.
and it's all, I mean, react in different way, but in Japan, majority of times, they carefully take memo about everything I say. They listen carefully. They like always curious. Like, they don't ask direct questions during the seminar, but when there is like break time, they line up of people asking me questions.
Oh.
It shows how much people are actually open-minded and flexible for different cultures. That's like, I was very surprised to see how naturally they can be so much like flexible and open-minded to different cultures, right? That's really positive attitude. But whatever is happening, like miscommunication and everything, is just by simply not knowing about different cultures.
Yeah. Wow, that is so huge. Thank you so much for sharing that. And then also well, since I love you so much that I
Thank
like
you.
see all those pictures, every single pictures, and you had a speech at one of the universities for the uh, keynote. You were the keynote speaker for the Kobe University, right? For the enrollment
So yes,
ceremony.
basically, actually, it's next year in April. But
Mm,
I studied in Kobe University, and the university, executive like wrote me email the other day saying, "Can you be the keynote speaker for our next like enrollment
yeah.
ceremony at Kobe University?" Seems like 4,000 students will be there in the big hall.
Wow, that's such a huge thing for you.
Yeah,
Are
yeah, I
you
was
gonna
very
do this
shocked.
in English or Japanese?
I will do it in Japanese
Oh,
language.
okay.
But
Wow.
I'm so excited about like sending messages to
Mm-hmm.
students who will be just like thinking about their careers, and so I
Right.
want them, be confident and be like global leaders. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
really like excited from now and nervous because I never had in my audience 4,000 people so far. Maximum I had was like 600 people.
You
So
know
this will
what?
be very big.
If you've done it before, you can do it.
So yeah.
Yeah. And then so you I'm just curious. So also I read your bio. You were saying
Mm.
that you have experiences on mentorship with younger
Yes.
entrepreneurs. So um I'm curious to see um how how much people know about this like mentorship in Japan. Like what is the understanding around mentorship?
So mentorship concept in general, I think it's very new in Japan, and now I'm in startup environment. Like
Mm-hmm.
I meet a lot of people like who are trying to do their business for the first time and they don't know where to start.
Right.
And the thing is, there is no support system about it yet. So everyone is like depending on someone they know for the mentorship.
Right.
That's the environment so far.
Mm-hmm.
So even me, I'm not like doing it professionally. I have no idea what I'm doing. But the thing is, like, after my speeches, people come to me and say, "Can you like help me start my business in
Yeah.
Japan or
Yeah.
develop my business?" And so I try to make time for them and develop the idea. But one thing I notice is everyone who has great ideas,
Mm-hmm.
those are the ones who doesn't have confidence
Mm.
that they are special or their ideas is great. They don't believe it. For them, it's so simple,
Right.
and they lack confidence. That's the
Mm-hmm.
pattern I saw.
Yeah. And then did you also start that way too when you are starting your own business?
So yeah, in my case, of course, like at that time, I had zero business experience, like even knowledge. I didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that helped me was I literally had nothing to lose that time.
Mm.
Like, and in Japan now you can, at that time also like you could start business even with 1 yen capital.
Mm.
Like, basically, it wouldn't cost you to start business,
Mm-hmm.
and you have nothing to lose basically. So that helped.
Mm. That is so good. It's nothing to lose. I think it's so important. I feel like so many people are focusing on like, what if this doesn't go well, or what
Yes,
if
yes.
I fail? Like, but and then of course I was the same way because I had zero confidence to start with, especially when I moved to the States. That's when I like completely lost my
Mm-hmm,
confidence, and whenever I want to do it, like I would tell myself like, no, I'm not good enough, or there's no way you can do this type of,
mm-hmm,
that conversation.
mm-hmm,
But then luckily I had a great mentor, and she
mm-hmm.
was the one who's telling me like, why do you have to focus on all the negatives? What if you are all successful, and then what if you're able to achieve all this thing? How would you feel? And that was a huge conversation that I had with her. That was such a powerful conversation. And from there, I started focusing on like, what if I can do this? What kind of like impact that I can bring to not just myself, but other people who needed to hear whatever the message from me, or, you know. So it's not just about me, but it's about people that whatever that I do, and then the impact that I can, it's like a ripple effect that I can bring to the others.
Yeah, basically the only thing is just to meet a lot of people and tell to all of them what you want to do or what you're doing. And this way people will remember you with that project you mentioned. Yeah. And then if they like meet someone who is doing similar thing or who might be an interesting person for you, they introduce themselves. I said, you should meet this person because she's doing this project, right? Yeah. So I always tell to people, like, meet everyone and brand yourself with that project you are doing so that people will remember you. They send you information and opportunities based on that. So don't keep it inside, even if it's like big like project, then people might think like she's crazy or like it's too big. You know? It's okay, you know. If you keep repeating it, people start to take you seriously. They say, it's not only as a joke. She said she's actually meaning it, and then people start to take it like really serious. You know.
Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so important. So having those like having meetups and connecting with people. And for you, Fariza, I know, you are a female global leader, and you're also a business owner and being a minority in Japan. And obviously, in Japan also struggle with some sort of gender inequality and all that. Have you, by meeting all those people, have you ever faced some sort of like not necessarily discrimination, but some sort of challenges because, I don't know, you're young, you're a woman, you're quote unquote gaijin, whatever that is?
Yes. Actually, the thing is, like, I was worried like this before my starting like business, and like how I can teach it to executive of big companies, like when not having experience myself, like what if they don't take me seriously? What if they think who you are to teach me, right? Yeah. And so I was worried before my first seminar. I couldn't even sleep one night before. But when I went there, the reaction was completely the opposite. Like all these top people usually are always open-minded and like ready to learn more in any age, So in my experience in Japan, being minority and being foreigner, being female actually became my advantage because I stand out, I stand out. I'm different, I'm unique. And then I started to get way more opportunities than any Japanese man. Like I would believe like if Japanese men doing exactly what I'm doing, he would not have so many opportunities that I got because of my background and because of me being different. So it works as advantage if you're confident about your background, and it's all your own attitude,
Awesome. Oh, I just got a chill here. That is so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Just take all that as an advantage. Not look as a disadvantage. That's awesome. So speaking of all those opportunities, I know you have another big event coming on December the 6th. It's the Global Innovators event. Of course, I have to know because I just follow you so much. But tell us about the event and what are you going to talk about, if you can share?
Yes, of course. So it's really exciting event will be held in Fukuoka, which is now like startup, scene is active there in Japan. And basically, great guest speakers coming, like who is the co-founder of Apple, Steve Wozniak, and co-founder of YouTube, Chad Hurley, is coming as guest speakers, and also I'm invited as panelist there. And like I'm so excited there, like panelists coming from different areas and basically we are all discussing about what kind of startup ecosystem Japan should have, and like support system, like getting investment is investment mentality also in Japan is different, and how it should change, and how government and companies, investors should support and develop startups in Japan, basically.
Wow. I mean, this is such a huge event.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
I'm
Co-founder of
excited
Apple
about.
and YouTube.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet them, like in person myself. I never thought I would be, standing on the same stage with those
Wow.
global leaders. I'm super excited.
Yeah. And it's in Fukuoka, right? Wow. I wonder why it was in Tokyo.
Thank you.
Because I would think that Tokyo was like the main, but Fukuoka. Wow. And obviously it's going to be all in English, right? All those other speakers, I'm looking at it. Are you going to be speaking in English for this one?
Yeah, I think the panel discussion will be in English because there are a lot of other panelists who are from US.
True. Yeah, I'm looking at all those pictures. How were you get invited? Or like, did you put yourself out there and say, "Hey, I'm interested in," or how does this work? Because one day I would like to be in a panelist of like those global, huge conference and stuff. Like, teach me and teach us.
The secret is so simple. Is LinkedIn and social network. Whatever you do daily, even if you feel it's like not a big deal to share, but keep sharing what you're doing about your project. And then people start to find you based on those keywords. So I started like, posting about my activities, what kind of seminars I'm doing and what I learned from that. And I kept posting it on LinkedIn, and slowly people started to find me and like offer me this kind of amazing opportunities.
Wow. Well, that's good to know.
Share information.
Yeah. Self-promotion. It's so important.
Yes.
Oh, got it. I have a LinkedIn account, but I only post for my company, my 9 to 5, because I have a full-time job. So I post only for that, but maybe I need to start thinking about how I can use or leverage on my LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn is great for building your personal brand.
True.
Like professionally.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to have to start thinking about how I can incorporate too. Okay, well, thank you so much for that great tip. All right, so now it's time for me to ask you her confidence, her way power questions. Are you ready?
Yes, please.
All right. So the first question, how would you define your own self-confidence, and how are you building your own?
So self-confidence, unfortunately, it's really difficult to build by yourself. You need help of other people because, as I told you, it's very difficult to notice your own strong points. Because for you it's so simple, you feel it's not a big deal, right? And someone else has to notice it and tell you about it. And for that, you need to meet a lot of people and surround yourself with this kind of positive people, right? So in my case, like I'm like personally a very curious person. So for any opportunities, if I have time, I say yes, just simply because I want to try it.
Yeah.
But after I say yes, I start to get scared as how I'm gonna do it now,
right. Yeah. But it's a good scare.
Yeah. So now, because I have the deadline, because I promised, and I have the pressure because I never done it, I study a lot in that short, limited time about it, And then, like, of course, every time, or even now, whenever I do something new, I'm scared one day before, like scared. So like trembling scared. And then when I do it, I feel, wow, like I could do it. And then you just repeat this until you have a lot of different cases, episodes. And even if you're trying something new, you still will be scared. But you look back saying, until now I did so many amazing things, and I can do it too. So this way is just, practical way. Like you build your self-confidence by trying a lot of new things. And even if you're scared, you can learn about it. And when you do it, you start to build your confidence, And another thing is, don't surround yourself with negative people. Some people say, it helps you improve, grow, but I don't believe that so much, because even if you don't want, it affects you. Negative feedback and everything. Of course, it's good to have like one person that can tell you like, constructive criticism. But the rest of people, you shouldn't like surround yourself with people always finding problems or finding like your weak points or showing like indicate. Me personally, I have like group of friends that we can be ourselves and we support each other, and helps you build your own confidence,
Yeah. Oh, this is so good. And then you have kind of touched on this. So you said that, in order for you to be confident, you have to know what is good, your strengths, and, you need people to help you find your strengths. So I'm pretty sure you had someone who helped you to find your gifted talent. So what is your gifted talent and how are you using yours?
Thank you. So in my case, my partner, Michele, helped me notice my strengths, and he helped me like build my confidence in a way. So I have, I think, two things that I didn't know I had. Like, I'm very genuinely curious person, and I show my interest in everything, with passion. So I think people feel it because I truly believe in that, I'm actually interested. And the second thing is like, I take action, and even if I do tiny steps, I never stop, And that thing, my partner Michele told me first time, saying, I see you as tractor, like, and I said, what do you mean even? What does it even mean? He says, like, it's not cool to see, it's functional, it works, and you never stop. Like, you go slow, but you keep going like tractor, And that was funny, and I said, I never thought like I had it, but he helped me see it,
Yeah, because not everybody can do this. You think that it's normal, but it's not. So that's the special talent. So thank you so much for sharing. How about ikigai? Have you ever heard of the term ikigai in Japanese? Okay, perfect. Ikigai is a Japanese concept that means a reason for being and a reason for being in this world. So what is your what is your ikigai to you, and what excites you, or what is your reason to just jump out of bed each morning?
So personally, in my experience, I experienced the amazing thing that even me, I could achieve something, right? So I believe that every person has the power to change the world for real. Like everyone, no matter what background they are from, like it doesn't matter. It's like all like just different situation, but I believe like I can change the world. And that's, I think, ikigai for me is like, I want to be someone to contribute to build the society that I want to live myself. For example, while I'm young, in my lifetime, I want to experience futuristic society. And I don't want to wait someone build it for me, right? Because what I'm imagining, of course, not other people imagine it in different way. So the only way to experience what I'm imagining is to build it myself and to do what I can do myself. And for that, I'm doing the businesses, which is like, I want to live in a high-tech society. So I'm bringing all high-tech people in my platform and making them work directly so that they speed up innovation so that while I'm young, I can experience the society I'm imagining. Right? This is simply ikigai for me, and this is the reason I wake up every morning like happy because I know I'm already building it,
You're so amazing. Oh my gosh. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all these powerful answers. So now I would like to ask you to leave some advice for this podcast listeners. What would you like to say to women who are listening to this podcast, who are wanting to live a purposeful and meaningful life with confidence?
One more thing I want to say, basically all people, no matter what gender it is, everyone has unique experience, right? Based on their environment, their childhood, like friends, influence they got. So everyone is unique. So whatever they will do, there will be no one better than them. They will be the best in what they will do because it's coming from their experience. So whatever idea they have, they should start it now, like even once a week if they don't have time, or even 2 hours a week, doesn't matter. Just don't keep planning and thinking what if, just do and see the result for yourself and then adapt and keep changing and improving, right? So I believe in action. That's why even if it's simplest idea, it can grow to the big business. So whatever idea you have, start now, talk to people, brand yourself with that project, and like show up. Because as I said, in those events, there's like, if you show up there, people give you the opportunity just simply because you're there, That's simple. It is. It's not because your skills, background. It's like still business is done by trusting and knowing you personally. So always show up to the events that could give you information or network or whatever it is, right? So start it, talk about it, brand yourself with it, and start building network, I would say.
Amen, sister. You speak the same language as I do.
That's why we got connected, and that's why we're doing this. Right?
Yes, for sure. I mean, we can talk forever, but I want to respect your time. So I'm pretty sure everybody now understands why I'm such a huge fan of you. So tell everyone, where they can find you, and if you have something special, if you want to mention, mic is yours.
Yeah, thank you. They can find me on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram. I would be happy, to hear from them what they're doing. And like, I'm always open to new ideas. I love listening to innovative business ideas in general. Just sharing information together, I would be happy to. And also if there's someone who is doing business or projects in technology startup scene, I would be happy to hear, about the project and see maybe we can collaborate as partners. Simply as that. There's nothing special I want to offer. It's just simply I want to connect with people like-minded and share information. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, today was such a gift for me. So thank you so much for your time. So and I'm such an honor to talk to you today.
Thank you so much. You gave me a great opportunity to talk this side of me, like personal side somehow. It's first time ever I mentioned it in media. Yes, I never talked about it. Wow. So yeah, I'm finally confident enough to talk about even this side of my
gosh, your story is so valuable that you need to start talking more about yourself, because this will help other women. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, have a wonderful day.
You too. Have a nice evening, I guess, for you.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Keep in touch. Thank you. Bye-bye.
There you have it. I hope you had enjoyed my conversation with Fariza. I mean, isn't she amazing or what? Like, seriously. When I was listening to her story, I totally thought about Malala Yousufzai. Have you guys ever heard of her? Malala, she is a Pakistani activist for female education, and she is the youngest Nobel Prize that she had received. And she's definitely known for human rights advocacy, and especially in education. And she was talking about how women in Pakistan, they couldn't go to school just because she's a woman. And I actually read her story to my daughters, and I empower my girls, and I always tell them, like, you guys are so lucky that you get to have the opportunity to go to school, because there are girls who are just not allowed to go because they're a girl. And there are societies that they will tell women that we can't do it because we're a woman. But that's wrong. And I always encourage them that no matter what, even if someone tells you that you can't because you're a girl, you don't listen to those people, and you listen to people who will support you and cheer you up. And anyways, so, when I was talking with her, I totally thought about Malala. The reason why I brought her story is that Fariza said Japan is the land of opportunity. When she said that, I had a wow perspective, because here I am living in the US, and I think that I have more opportunities in the US, and Japan is still a society where a man has better advantage and better opportunity. I'm talking about in terms of career, and it is very hard for women to work. However, Fariza said, which I really liked, she said she sees this as an opportunity and take as an advantage. So she's been a minority, she's a foreigner, she's a woman, she's young, and she often goes to a meeting that is like male dominated, and instead of taking it as a disadvantage, she sees it as an opportunity to really speak up and take it advantage and bring different perspectives. And I really appreciate and I really respect her way of thinking, and it's so important. I mean, no matter what, it's really up to us, right? It's really up to us to think and act towards the situation. We all have the control of how we want to think and how we want to take an action. So if we're saying like, oh, well, I'm a mom, I'm a woman, and I should be this, I'm supposed to be going home and picking up my kids and cook dinner, and oh, I'm a mom, so I shouldn't be doing this, or I'm a woman, so I shouldn't be speaking up, or whatever that is. If you are following those, oh, I am this, so I should be doing whatever, you are never going to live your life that you want to live in. So although I want to be a cheerleader, but also I'm a coach for you guys too, and I'm a mentor for you guys too, and I want to make sure that I am challenging you guys, and making sure that I am telling you that you have a power. So you decide. You make a story. You create a story. Don't settle. You need to start living. Okay? And, as Fariza mentioned, women tend to not ask, but it is so important that we need to demand and we need to ask help, because whenever we want to do something, there are some challenges, and we can't assume that someone's going to help you. We need to tell them like, hey, this is what I want to do, and this is the type of support that I need. I mean, whenever I have to do something and I want my husband to do, I straight tell him like, no, I don't need your help. I need you to watch this. So I need you to do this because you're a father and then you're also responsible. I don't need your help. Need is not a word for me from my husband. I don't know. It sounds weird, but it's true. I mean, as a mom, it's a partnership. So it's not that I'm helping him or he's helping me. Like, we're both responsible parents. So I see as equal situation on that. And she also talked about confidence. And yes, I'm so glad she mentioned that confidence is something, building confidence is something that you cannot do by yourself. And it is so true. Sometimes you need someone to make you realize how amazing you are, or there is something that you want to do, but you cannot do because you're so scared. But you need that person to help you to kind of like push your back and say, hey, you got this. You're enough. And I want to be that person for you too. So if you are feeling like if you are doing something and but then you kind of need a little push, just send me an email, message me. I'm here to give you the boost. All right, that is all for today, and thank you so very much for listening to this podcast. I am so grateful that you're here with me, and I get to introduce another amazing person. Okay, I cannot wait to share more amazing women for you guys, and just to learn how we can really help each other or I don't know, help is a good word, but how to encourage and motivate each other to live the life that we want to live, the life that you feel meaningful, purposeful. I hear so many people talking about, oh, the design the work life or create the work life. Yes, that's important. That's first, but before right after that, you can't just stop you can't stop the process, right? Once you design or once you create, then you need to start living, and that is action. That's what Fariza also mentioned, like taking an action. And I know you hear this all the time. Do something, take some actions. And I know you hear this all the time, but it's true, and that is not something that we can help you. We cannot help you. It's you. It's all on you. So I want you to think about it. I know this is like a push podcast for you guys, but so true. Okay? And the important thing is, don't apologize for who you are. You are already enough, and you are amazing. So you're ready.